Your mom's a tree.
Your mom was a tree. Not is, because she's a woman. She's a beautiful woman, but she was a tree. But we're back.
Right on the cusp of Mother's Day. You got
we're back, guys. Welcome back. We got Briak attack again, bragging. We also got Brian.
Yo, Brian the fly guy, or also Brock, as the blonde twins want to call me out there.
Yeah. Some people call him Brock.
I'll switch it out sometimes. You know, I got the glasses on. You know who you're talking to.
There you go.
Together we form the Briak.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, these are all terms you need to. It's like a vocabulary list when you meet us.
Up on your vocabulary. Let me go ahead and give you. I'm gonna school you real quick.
Yeah. These are terms. Yeah, gotta learn all the terms of endearment.
There you go.
I love it. I dig the vibes. I dig the combination.
Because it's hard to find that combination. Yeah, it's like
right now.
It's imagine if you're fire. Like, it's so hard to find ice because you're like so attracted to fire because you're fired, you know?
You're
fire. You're fire. And so once you find the icy
Come on, baby, light my fire.
Yeah, exactly. So once you find that ice, it's like, oh, you know.
Brian has always been my comic relief to my seriousness. Mm-hmm. So whereas the last podcast I did with you guys, we got super deep and across the universe with the conversation and came back. Well, Brian's the guy that will always like for instance, I told him, I said, once Brian, I know exactly where I'm going with this.
Great.
He goes, I said, once Brian, I fasted for almost 7 days, and it was a really spiritual experience. He goes, I don't know, bro, it doesn't sound any better than a cheeseburger. He goes, I have a spiritual experience with every triple fast.
Cheeseburger, bro. Come on.
So I was just like, that's the type of shit that he does for me. It's like, come on, bro, I can chill out.
I bring it back down to earth sometimes,
That's what you gotta do, dude. I feel like that's exactly like me and Alex, dude. Me and Alex live in the same fucking place, and we do the same exact shit.
Dude, like, we'll get to these points where, like, Mike will be like, yo, okay, so my favorite one that was, like, a week ago or 2 weeks ago was it just got deep. So, like, real quick, it was like,
I know what you're saying.
It was like, we were talking, and Mike was like, I think that the system is fucked, like, the whole system that we have, it's fucked, and we need to break it down and rebuild it, And then I was talking, and like every time, like me and Mike get in talk, or like I get in talk with anybody, like I like to play the devil's advocate, because like you think you have such a great idea, but what if I question it?
A lot of angles. We always do that.
We both do it to each other.
Yeah, but what if?
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, you think that, well, what if this and that? And then I was like, well, the system that we have is great, and it's always going to last, and then like it got us in such a deep conversation where like, And what's crazy that comes around is like Mike was saying before, like we both come to the same conclusion. It's just in different words,
It's super interesting that you said it, because I was talking about that today at work. And it's something that we were talking about in the last podcast too, is the meaning behind everything, not the content. So the words of the symbolism, there's all this. Everybody's talking about the same shit. The same truths, they're just saying it differently, They're
just saying it differently.
So if you know what you're listening for,
Yeah.
Like if you become I feel like I speak another language. Like to me, that is tongues. You know what I mean? Like
intent.
Intent. Yeah, I can hear what your intent is. I don't hear the words you're saying. I hear what's underneath it all. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay. And it's really good for when you're dating women, because believe me. You know?
Women speak another language.
They speak like that. They speak that language where they listen all the time. You know, and like.
Well,
guys, we just get to the point. We just get to the point. Bum, 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 bum. Women, they're like, they're listeners, like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah, you got the empathetic side of the women that are so sweet, but they have that other side. I say they speak cuntonese. You know, that's the other side. That's just off the dome. That's just off the dome.
I just made that.
They're beautiful, though. They're beautiful.
We were talking about the C-bomb, though, the other day, and like, I rarely use it, but I felt it was necessary.
Yeah. You know, in England, the British don't give a shit, man. They'd be like, wanker.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, my older brother went on a mission to England.
Yeah.
And, like, to Manchester, England, you know, like, deep city England. Okay. And so he did a mission there. And he was talking about how, like, in deep England, like, like it's just as bad as any deep city you go into, any state in the United States. You know, you get there's
like Detroit,
there's
or
just
Houston,
drunks everywhere. You know, just fucking homeless
LA,
and drunks everywhere. You know, they're just getting crazy all the way downtown. And he was assigned to Manchester.
Salt Lake City's like that.
Exactly, he was assigned. So you can picture it this way: like he was assigned to Salt Lake City. You know, like he couldn't go to West Valley or Murray or any of those little cities that are doing pretty good, you know. He had to stay in like Salt Lake City,
like downtown by the block.
Exactly, downtown. So like he saw crazy things happening all the time, but like
Briak, you've never seen anything crazy downtown, have you?
I don't know.
Hey, I know the answer to that. But anyways, yeah. So like he lived there, and like it was crazy because like he talked about like how many drunks there were, but like how many like drunks that were like willing to talk about religion, you know, like that was his biggest thing, was like there were people like the people that were homeless or like on the blocks or things, like they had time to talk about religion, and they actually cared about it, you know. It wasn't like they were just like, oh, you know, just like listening to him like some people do, you know, like in one ear out the other. He said that like the homeless people, like they really did, like they were looking for something, you know?
You know what's interesting is when I was homeless downtown, I went through a meth-induced psychosis where I thought it was Jesus, and I thought it was Lucifer, and I thought it was God.
So explain. Let's talk about that a little bit.
He kept us introduced. Gonna say, by the way.
So that one time I was tripping at acid and I was running butt naked in the woods, you know. Like,
that's what I realized.
And I will tell you about that. But I want to say is that the psychosis was furthered by what you're talking about, the extent of people that were willing to talk about God being prevalent amongst us, like walking around us, that Jesus had been reincarnated. Like part of my psychosis that continued to linger is the reinforced beliefs behind all these other people in a meth-induced psychosis, like thinking they're God and shit.
What is a psychosis exactly?
I don't know the clinical term of it, but basically it's to a point where your reality has become so distorted in the mind that it's not
reality.
And here's the interesting part about that. Like, you know, perception of reality is perception of reality. What's taking place, this really is what got me into the power of belief. Like, if you do not believe, like, for instance, I believed I was Jesus Christ. You know what believing in Jesus Christ leads you to do? Like, you go and do shit that you think Jesus Christ was doing. You go read all of the scriptures. You don't eat for 7 days on end. You continuously pick up books and study philosophy.
You get hung on the cross on the weekend, you know.
Pretty much though.
But what I'm saying is,
you gotta get in that crucifix.
But in the action, right? Whether it's misguided to begin with or not, it does lead you to places that have actually gotten me to a point of Christ consciousness. You know what I mean? Like, so the power of belief really can take you some places, man, even if it is psychosis. I mean, when I thought it was Lucifer, I was going and stealing shit all the time, freaking not giving a fuck. I'd bump that rap music as loud as I could, fuck bitches, get money and shit, you know what I mean? Like everything that I could perceive as negative, and I really embodied everything that I thought this demonized being is, you know? I tried to be cunning and swift like him and lie and manipulate and cheat and steal and, you know, and just think I'm a fucking badass, an egotistical prick, you know? But here I am living on the streets with no money in my pocket doing it heroin and crystal. That's the distortion, really, you see? That's where it's not real in your head. But it does lead you to some places where you do learn some. I mean, you're going to learn no matter what, but it's interesting.
That reminds me of that quote you shared on Facebook today about the tree that grows upward and downward at the same time.
The happiness and sadness.
I was going to mention that.
In all things.
I was going to mention that. It says sadness gives depth, happiness gives height, sadness gives roots, happiness gives branches. Happiness is like a tree going into the sky, and sadness is like the roots going down to the womb of the earth. Both are needed, and the higher a tree goes, the deeper it goes simultaneously. The bigger the tree, the bigger will be its roots. In fact, it is always in proportion. That's its balance.
Well, so one thing that was crazy is like a real good friend of mine, like he and a real good spiritual friend of mine, that he like told me about that. He was the one that told me about that first. He said that, hey, you know, like everyone should kind of. He was talking about when we were talking about chakras, you know, about your 7 chakras through your body. That
the main ones, your
7 main ones, because you have a million, billion, trillion chakras, but your 7 main chakras. And so he was talking about how you have your 7 main ones. And with those 7 main ones, those are the ones that you control the most, you know, that you have the most power over, that take over the most power of the smaller chakras, you know.
Right.
And so that's why you have the power of the 7 is because you shouldn't be having the power of 1,000,000. You know, it's too much for you to handle and also
so
live.
It's simplified.
So it's simplified.
Combined.
You know, it's like it's a management system. So that's why you have 7 that you control. And he was talking about how you have those 7, and you need to think about how your bottom chakra, which is called your root chakra.
Yep.
And then also your top chakra, which is your indigo chakra
Or your crown.
Or crown chakra. And so it's like he was talking about how each of those chakras need loving, you know. Each of the 7 chakras need loving because that's why we're made as a human being. That's why everything in this world is made with 7 chakras at certain points, you know. And
That's an interesting
so,
concept.
And so that's why people do Reiki, Reiki is like the healing of the chakras. But people do Reiki on animals and stuff too, and it actually does help. But you guys can look into Reiki, R-A-I.
I know about it.
Yeah,
my
Reiki.
mom is into it. My
Reiki.
mom used to have the wand.
Yeah,
Okay.
Reiki is a little
And
crazy.
she used to circle it around us. I woke up at the bottom of bed. My mom's sitting there. I would wake up and I'm sending you positive energy.
And see, so
Can you
and
send
so-
it somewhere else? Because right now I got freaked out energy.
I can see you full of this positive energy
Yeah.
that she must have been sending you.
She must have.
Look at you now,
that's
like,
it.
I'm
And
just
that's the thing.
overwhelmed with it.
That's the thing too.
It works.
And-
So like these chakras, I'm kind of interested because I know like a little bit about, but like, are they like in different parts of your body
Yes.
essentially?
Yes.
So you were just
All
talking about the
over.
crown, so that's like in your head.
The
right?
crown
Here's
is
how it
the
goes.
top where
You
your
got-
brain
so you got,
is.
So you got a crown chakra at the top. Your third eye chakra is at the center of like your
Right
brow
there.
point right here. Then you got your throat chakra, which comes
throat.
right here. Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, Adam's
Basically,
apple.
it's for the voice, basically. That's and
It's
then
in
you
your
have
vocals.
your heart chakra,
Yeah.
and then you have your solar plexus, and then you have your sacral, which is towards your
Sac.
intestine.
Your sacral, your sacral
Perfect
parts.
name, you can't
And
forget
that's
it.
the thing,
And
that's
then
the
your
thing,
root
is like
chakra.
it's sacral,
Yeah. And those are the 7.
and then your root.
So root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown.
crown.
Okay.
Wow.
And so my friend
more
was
you
telling
know.
me about and now that we talk about it, my friend was telling me about how, you know, like you have to balance your 7 chakras. That's when you feel like the most in focus, you know, like if one chakra is not getting enough attention, you're gonna get sick, you know, because you're not getting the proper signals sending through all the 7 chakras. And so what he was talking about is thinking of yourself when you'd go into a meditative state. The first thing of thinking of yourself, just yourself, because you are kind of whatever everything, you know. But
Yeah, I'm gonna get into that
but
too.
at first, when you get into meditative state, is thinking about just yourself, just the self that you are creating right now, and think of it in having a middle point that is soil and creating a tree of it, because the tree creates how big of root. And while you're meditating, you know, with your eyes closed, you know, how big of roots do you have compared to how big of branches do you have? Because the branches are how much
Try
you're
to equal
thinking
them
about
out.
everything, and the roots are about how much you're doing things on this actual planet and actually doing things with your life. And so you
this
gotta
makes
have
so much
you gotta
sense.
have a tree that balances it. And so when you're meditating, if you see that the top is higher or the roots are higher, you need to focus on that other side because it's your meditation. You got to just think about who am I, you know, and build yourself as a tree. And then with that, you can kind of understand where you need to focus on, either your roots or your branches.
I was gonna say, like you were saying, when you're sick, so you can like kind of will yourself into not being sick. You're saying,
Well,
like
so,
if you
okay.
concentrate enough.
So this is where we talk about-
this is where we
This is
talk about-
interesting
It
because
takes action.
And I've talked
Yeah.
about you. I told you to look him up, but Mike is actually Mikey Boo is
Brian
actually
knows about him too.
the person that
William
told me
Hoff.
about it. Wim Hof, yeah.
Wim Hof. Wim, yeah. See,
so
I
Wim
do.
Hof-
Yeah, I was already
So
ahead of
Wim Hof, he
was on
believes-
Joe Rogan.
and he actually learned everything that he did by himself. He learned it from learning from things that he did. He didn't learn from people. He learned from himself.
Well, just from
He would-
getting into it from
yeah.
his own body and his
he
own
he
nature.
liked going into
universe
the
is the
cult, so he's
greatest
going to,
teacher.
yeah.
So you're bringing up 2 points here that I want to touch on, and they both have been coming to my mind all day, and I love how the universe works like that. It's like it's your cue, okay? It's your
Yeah.
time to speak, you know? Like, hey, you've been waiting all day, here it is. So the complexity of the chakras is very congruent to me to the complexity of the human beings we are.
Yeah.
And that also ties into your radical acceptance about how hate is love. I listened to that in the last
Mike's.
podcast that we were talking about, Mike. You're talking about how the love is the hate, you know?
Yeah.
You know, that's the radical acceptance of all of it. And really that's, I think that what I'm aiming to do now is to take all of it, the good and the bad and the balance that it is, and just take it. Don't try not to judge it so much. Just it is what it is because we're too complex. I think we're far more complex than we care to realize.
Yeah,
than
our titles.
Even though we care
I think
realize.
we fear how complex we are.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, rather than accepting how complex we are, we fear it, which is what limits us to our infinite potential. Like,
And
I think we're that complex.
So what if it comes to the
Most
point though that
definitely.
the
Yeah.
reason that we do that is because we limit everyone to their bare minimum so that
Yeah.
only the people that actually care to break through that actually break through. You know, maybe that's why everyone has this
Make
pressure
it a
on them because
challenge.
only the people that can handle the pressure can go past the pressure and actually do something.
Well, and then what I think that the purpose for that is to have teachers like there always has been.
Oh, of course.
And honestly, it's an honor to be one of those, and it's also a duty at some point.
Yeah.
It becomes like, okay,
Oh, yeah.
and once you have that fulfillment and you found those things for yourself and you've learned those things, the idea is to pass them forward, and the universe is the greatest
Pay it
teacher.
forward.
So what we have here is. You were talking about Wim Hof learning all by himself, right? Well, the universe is the greatest teacher, and how do we
Exactly.
learn from the actual, like, the physical universe around us? Everything, not just the people, but anything and everything around you right now. I believe that ties into what I was telling Brian about is innocence of vision. So I think that
making yourself look like a baby is
so
everything.
fetus of mind is basically is how I describe it. If you right now were just born with every capability you have right now, what would you be like? You'd be like, what the fuck is all this shit?
Well,
what is going on?
Well, life pretty
Like,
much
what
is
is all
an
this?
never-ending
So-
series of what the fuck.
Yeah.
From the day you're born.
But if you can renew this presence of mind each morning, if you can practice renewing that presence of mind, this type of perception where you become totally fascinated
By
with the
everything.
physical
By your
universe
reality.
around you, by
Yeah.
your reality, this is when you're starting to see the innocence, the fetus-like mind, like the baby staring around, and it's easier to see the simple truths from an innocent mind because there's not that complexity
and
of
that's
bias
what
in the mind.
meditating is you're breaking
Meditation
down
gets you
those
there.
certain boundaries.
What I like to do is I like to look at situations or like even anything I'm doing, I like to put a different word than I'd usually put on it. Like if I'm gonna take a shower, let's say I'm gonna I don't know. I'll throw some awkward fucking
Anything,
shit
whatever
on
it
it.
is.
Like, I'm gonna
like-
throw some fucking water from these fucking pipes that are pressurized
so much shit.
into my skin. That's fucking kind of separating me from
Well, yeah.
fucking spilling everywhere. And like it's
found I
just
usually
like
use
everything's
4
such a
ounces per
fucking
tracer.
miracle when you really
Yeah, but
when you
down
really
outside.
think of
When
it
I
in
get
that
down-
and when you really think of it in that sort of sense, when you really like
Everything's
just
a
try and
miracle.
look at everything's a fucking miracle because
Yes.
you look at it
I love that you said that.
and it's just like how could it happen? If you really think about it, it's like this is really some sort of wild coincidence, and so fuck it, you know. So
And
fuck it. Let's make the best of it. Respect it.
Yeah.
Let's
And
make
do what
random
you gotta
coincidences.
formulate with it, right? So we didn't create the set elements; those have always been there, and they
Yeah.
always will be. But we get the benefit, the fucking gift
And we-
of formulating
And
with
playing
this.
with them, and playing with them.
That is our greatest gift.
Oh, we
man,
have these
is that
couple
we get to
elements.
manipulate this shit.
Oh, let's mix them with these elements.
Yeah.
Oh, that made a fire again. Oh, let's make fireworks.
And that's why I'm getting into sound engineering school, and like I'm learning from doing this podcast. I want to learn from Jerrick over here as far as FL Studios goes. Like I want to know how to compose it, man. I want to build that shit from the ground up,
and
manipulate the elements, formulate with them, and then just freaking go at it.
So that's why I love
super cool.
like Jerrick loves producing music, and I love when people love producing music and art and stuff like that. And I love I've really been getting into the flow arts lately with like the poi and the staff and like stuff like that.
Killing it, dude. Killing
That's
it.
super artistic and
Stuff like
So
that.
artistic.
That's just like kind of a different. I feel like it's a music
Oh yeah.
and it's kind of music in its own,
Oh,
its
yeah.
own way.
Brian
yeah.
likes to do. He likes comedy. He's done a couple of wise guys.
Oh, have you
done
done
some
the
stand-up?
mic stands?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
The mic
dude.
stands, I love it.
I can see it, dude. I can see it, dude.
So you talked about his positive energy, his vibes and stuff. He's that guy, man. He's that comic relief. Like, he's always in a really happy, chipper mood. I can't remember the last time I saw Brian down other than when he was, around this girl named Ovlar.
She brings a little too much negative energy.
But you guys can
Yeah.
see, like, you're positive and negative to each other, like...
Yeah.
You can see like the where you guys attract and don't attract, you know, but like it just makes it.
We mesh so well. Like honestly, I've never argued with this motherfucker. Like I can't even think of a time. Like if I have a problem with him,
debating,
I will tell him, and he will accept it.
No,
yeah, it's not. No, like honestly,
it's a debate.
Like I can't say I've never had a problem with him, but you know, it's like we address it and then it's over.
Yeah.
It's so much easier. You know what I mean? He like is completely understanding. He's only pissed me off like the whole 5 years I've known him, probably less than 5 times, like ever. You know what I mean? Like really pissed me off. Like that was that time with the car, you know, like back at Convergence, remember? And you just immediately were like, yeah, dude, I fucked up. I'm sorry. You know, and that's all I wanted. That's all you ever want when somebody fucks up, right? You just want the apology. You just want them to admit, I fucked up. My bad. That means so much more than
you just hold it. You just hold it, and you're like, fuck that motherfucker. Fuck that motherfucker. And then as soon as they tell you, you're like, boom.
It's all over. It's like,
it was a dress.
Like, it's over.
So what you guys are talking about is interesting because it kind of leads into what I want to talk about a little bit here. So it's a positive, it's a wellness habit to be acceptance of our flaws and the things that and flaws and the things that we perceive as the wrongs and the rights, right? The more, and it's really cause and effect is what it boils down to. You know, you're gonna reap what you sow, and either way. We talked about this on the last podcast too. Yeah. So I thought about that a lot, and I thought, well, one of the things that's been helping me reap a lot of what I want to sow is a book called 52 Small Changes for the Mind. It's by Brett Blumenthal.
He's getting paid to advertise it, by the way.
You know what?
He's not getting paid. Sponsor. Hey, if Bracken's bringing it, you know it's a good book. So let's hear.
It's the best-selling author. She's there's a few books here.
It's a girl.
Yeah, she's the founder of SheerBalance.com. She speaks globally on topics of change and well-being. Brett has been featured on popular websites such as the Huffington Post and in the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. She appeared on NBC, Fox, and CBS. And I heard she even did a special on Oprah. I don't know if that's for sure, but that's what I heard. So definitely, she's got over 20 years in experience, in wellness experience, okay? And what wellness is really these habits that you form in life. Yeah. And at the very beginning of this book, it goes into each one of these habits. So I'm just going to list them real quick, and then we'll go through a couple of them. So the first one is put pen to paper. Second one is let the music play. The third one is show your pearly whites. The fourth one is be a goal setter. Then make lists, be a monotasker, forget the Joneses, meditate, kick indecision, sip green tea, see the best in others, read for pleasure, take breaks, silence your inner critic. Yeah.
So, just what number are you on?
Well, there's a lot of these. There's 52 of them.
Yeah,
so
that's
one.
What number?
Yeah. Well, the book's called 52.
Well, no. What number did you just read to?
14.
Okay, so out of the 14 that you just read, basically what I heard is karma. You know, it's like you get what you reap what you sow. So it's like
karma is an action. And I have a post on Facebook about that too. It's not just like something that happens to you.
Exactly.
It's an action word. It's
exactly.
What you're putting in, you're going to get back.
And karma, you always think, oh, that person's going to get what they deserve, but like it really comes down to, did you deserve to treat that person that way, you know? So like, let's look at it this way, like you think you're doing good and good and good and good, and this is the only way I can really put it so that I can actually get my point down. When I was about 15 years old, I was with my homies. My homie was driving, he was 16. My homie was in the shotgun, he was 15. I was 15 in the back, and then there's another homie who was 15 in the back. So we went, and we were living in the neighborhood right next to the library, and this guy said, hey, will you come sell me some weed at the library? So we went over to the library, and when we go to the library has its parking lot, but it also has a walkway out the back that you can't drive through. It's just a walkway that goes into a neighborhood. And so we go park in the parking lot of the library, and the guy sits in the back seat, and I'm sitting in the back seat, and then my homie that's in the shotgun, he's selling weed to the guy. Mm-hmm. So he gives him a sack behind his back, you know, and he's like, hey, check it out, you know, before you pay me, because like, you gotta have like trust in you niggas, you know?
Yeah.
You know, especially if you're selling something, you know?
Or they're black.
Hey,
you said the niggas, sorry.
Okay. But anyways.
I had to point that out.
But anyways, he was tonguing too. He was tonguing. So
there you go. Okay.
So we're sitting there.
We're giving context to this.
And he gives him the weed to like check it out, you know? Like, like a normal like homie drug deal, you know, like, hey, here's the weed, check it out, and then give me the money, you know. So he passes him the weed, and the dude says, oh, this looks dank, dude, and then opens the door and then runs. And he goes down a little pathway that no cars can go, and then me and my homies literally for 25 seconds, almost half a minute, we look at each other. Did that just happen? Did that just happen? Did that just happen?
Wait, so
Did that just happen? And so then we get out of the car and we're like, yo! And when we see him going down the pathway where you can only walk, and there's a
Let's go
Suburban
down the
waiting
pathway.
right there.
it was
There's a
cop?
Suburban.
So-
No, there's a Suburban waiting right there.
Someone to pick him up.
So he runs to the Suburban, they get him, and I'm driving the car at that time. I'm the one in, like, I'm driving, my homie's like in the passenger, and the dude, we had a homie in the back, and then the dude that came picked it up in the back. But I'm driving, and I'm in my first car. It's like it's a stick, Infiniti G20 1993 or 1992, the year that I was born.
License plate number.
Or
Hold on,
1992.
I'm taking
Yeah,
notes
so-
here, bro. Hold on.
And so,
I want every
like,
detail.
I'm sitting there and I have a quarter tank of gas, you know, like very low minimal gas. And so I'm sitting there and we like look and we're like, that nigga just jacked us a half ounce. We're like,
Oh,
wait,
really?
like, did you see that? And then my homie's like, yeah, did you see that? And I was like, yeah, dude, I saw that. So we like all look at each other and we're like, did that just really happen? And they're like, yeah. And so we see the dude running and we're like, oh shit, he's going through the neighborhood. So we like come out onto the main street. We start, and I was like, go left. And he's like, no, I'm gonna go right because they're gonna come out right. And I was like, no, dude, they're gonna come out left. And he's like, no, I'm going right. Even though I was driving, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, we'll go right. And so we go right. We start going up the street. Go like almost a mile. We go up to the street to the neighborhood exit, and boom, they start coming out. And so boom, we flip a bitch. We start running out, and I'm like, almost out of gas, you know. And they're in a Suburban, big ass Suburban. So I'm like just chasing them in my Infiniti. We go all the way down from 90th South and 5200 West, all the way to Bangor, which is like 3800 West. We go to that, and then we start going to Bangor and 104, and I start just banging after him.
Banging them on banging her.
And yeah, I'm banging him on Bangor, and then like fucking, I just see him
Allegedly.
turn right, and then I see him turn right, and I turn right, and I'm like, dude, I'm almost out of gas. Like I can't even drive, you know. He's like, dude, I'll pay you for your gas, and I was like, I'm out of gas.
We
And
can't
so we
just
start
speak
going-
it into existence. We have to
Yeah,
stop.
we start going, and like they turn right into this neighborhood, and we're so far behind. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna turn right at the light, and then wait for him to come out of the neighborhood, you know. So I turn right at the light, and I wait for him to come out of the neighborhood. They just don't come out of the neighborhood. I'm like, oh fuck, dude. I was like, yeah, those niggas
You
like stole from me. You know?
So, moral of the story, you realize that you got stolen from because your use of the N-word. I get it, karma.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It all comes back. It all comes back.
Yeah.
That's the point of your story.
What does that have to do with karma?
Besides my interpretation of
So
it.
in the end, the guy that got stolen from, my homie that got stolen from, he's like this hella playboy, like hella like just popular ass nigga, you know. And I'm just like,
Now that's a white guy.
yeah, no, he's,
Okay,
he's,
hold
actually,
on.
he's Mexican. His last name
Okay.
is Del Casas.
He's a Mexican nigga.
He's Spain, dog. He's from Spain.
He is a
Everyone's
straight
a nigga.
spade nigga.
But Mexican. But anyways, so like we were homies and like I was the humble one. I was the humble one. He was more of the wow, you know, like I fucked 30 bitches and 25 of them are virgin, you know, like he was that nigga. Like everyone has that nigga in their school that just like fucks every girl, even the virgins. Like, how did you?
What do you
fall
mean,
for
even
him?
the virgin? Virgins are the first on the list of wanting to fuck.
I know they're the ones that take.
Believe
the
it or
most
not,
work.
he had sex with these crazy,
they're the
super
ones
tight
that take-
pussies. I don't know if you've heard of them.
They take the most work.
No,
though, so most people are like, oh, I don't want to put in that work. They take the most work, you know. It's like
Not necessarily.
a year.
Some of them are just waiting for the dick,
It depends
though.
it depends
It's
what
true.
year. It depends
Yeah.
when you're looking for. It depends on all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy.
So,
Yeah, it all
so,
depends. It's
so-
all
depends.
relative.
so to this shit, you know. So
That was a crazy dial-in drive that we just
Damn.
went into.
Damn.
man, I was trying to tell you some fucking wellness. habits.
52 changes the change.
I had some wellness habits before we went off and fucking got dropped the word nigga like 20 times.
So funny. He's like, this is what's gonna change your mind and change your life. He's like, I run through the time, and then this guy stole my weed.
Buck wild.
Yes. So good weed in the building. Good weed in the building.
There you go. There you go.
Smile.
That's
So, I'm gonna go through a few habits here. Not too many, but these are just ones that you can go with, man. And basically, we got show your pearly whites, smile. It's free therapy. There's a quote with each one of these. So just smile more.
Smile, and then what'd you say?
Simple
Like
habit.
laughing.
But your muscles don't react to smiles. Your muscles are naturally at a frowny face because it's easier to frown.
or straight face.
So when you smile, it actually takes muscle power, which takes energy from your body, which means that if you're constantly smiling, you're going to be constantly bringing smiley things into your life because you're actually putting the effort into it. You're not.
I
you're
heard
not
that
sitting at the natural.
Hold on.
line.
But actually, frowning takes like 3
Not
times as
frowning,
much.
but at,
No.
like,
But the
natural-
muscles actually.
natural.
It's like something like 80 some odd muscles if required to actually frown. You know what I mean? So it only takes like 14 or something like that to smile. Like I heard this. You know.
So smiling is really,
anyway.
it triggers a lot of different, the cool thing about this book is it goes into a lot of description on each habit of scientific research that we've done in each of these wellness habits that actually have effect on the brain. That's why it's called Small Changes for the Mind. So there's a neuroscience that ties into each one of these habits. If you want to know more about it, read the book or do the research. But basically, show your pearly whites or smile, it's free therapy, is actually tied into a direct neuroscience that will improve your brain function.
Yep.
Just
And
smiling.
you said laughing is basically like smiling on steroids. Yep.
Okay.
You gotta laugh more. That's why it keeps me around.
So the other one here, go beyond your comfort zone. Opportunity to find deeper powers within ourselves comes when life seems most challenging. That's by Joseph Campbell. So, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Like, go for the opportunities that are the most challenging in life, and you're going to reap so much more from it, okay? The other one here, place value on doing. The person who has lived the most is not the one with the most years, but the one with the richest experiences. I think that's a really cool quote right there. Yeah. I mean, you know, like, just... And it's not even about doing more. It's about...
Wisdom.
It's about soaking in the experiences, really being one with everything that's around you. Another one here, and I think Jerrick will appreciate this one, is it's called Eat Good Fats, and it says let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food, and that's Hippocrates it's a Greek philosopher. So
Hippocrates? No.
I don't know, but
Hippocrates?
That actually is what it says. That is yes.
Hippocrates. Yeah.
I'm like looking at it. I'm like yes.
Yeah. So
Is it like a
that-
hypocritic version of Socrates?
I don't know.
Yeah, I want to know more on this guy. Actually, is that where hypocrite comes
Yeah,
from?
is he like the hypocrite?
Because a lot of words
So he's
come
like
from
some
Greek.
fat ass
Latin, right?
He's like, let food be thy medicine, but eat fucking Taco Bell every day.
Fucking hypocrisy.
Fourth meal, right? Fucking hypocrisy. Nothing but hypocritic like philosophies. Hypocrisies.
I'm a big fan of eating healthy, and so I like the idea of letting food be thy medicine. So obviously, food is amazing. We all have to eat it to survive. But it can be such more of a rich experience when you're really soaking
When
it
you're
in.
eating the healthy shit.
And when you're really being in the moment with what you're eating, like really tasting the food, and like sometimes I feel like that's why weed like it enhances that effect
Because it's from
you're
Earth.
so focused on the fucking cheeseburger you're eating, man. Like there ain't nothing going on in your mind about that cheeseburger.
It is the best spiritual experience. I'm telling you.
One thing I think about marijuana is a really it's a sensitivity drug. It makes you really aware of your senses and like tastes
heightened
and
awareness.
smells
Absolutely.
just everything, you know,
Yes.
everything that's going on around you.
Everything
at least for me.
Everything's great when you're high.
Yeah,
Cottonmouth Kings.
That's shitty. If it's
that's
shitty,
also
then it's like
why.
super shitty.
Well, that's also
Right.
why
It enhances it everywhere. Yeah,
But
it's
that's
true.
also why I think people get so paranoid from
Yeah.
weed because it's such a sensitivity.
Yes,
Yeah.
you
But
get
that's
more
why I
in
like
tune
it.
with it. You're like, oh my
You're like,
god, that is true. But what else? And then your mind
Yeah.
starts ticking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
The last habit here that I'll mention, and there's 52 of them here, so be sure to check the book out if you guys are listening to this. And,
What's the book called again?
It's called 52 Small Changes for the Mind. And I mean, that's just like weekly habits. You do one a week. I did fucking 52 in fucking 3 weeks. I read this book in 3 weeks and decided to adopt it. Why not adopt as many as possible, man?
Started drinking tea because of
sip
it. I
green
never
tea.
drank tea in my life.
Yeah. And it's wonderful for you. There's
He
a lot
started
of
getting
wonder-
it. I'm like, yeah.
So
Why not?
This last
It's
one's
great, actually.
Open Your Mind, and it said,
Open your mind.
yeah, shout out to Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah. The quality of your life is in direct proportion to the amount of uncertainty you can comfortably deal with. So when you, like radical acceptance, we were talking about it earlier, the quality of your life is in the radical acceptance of the not knowing. It's the acceptance that the fear exists, and that's okay, which is the absence of fear. You know, it's like...
Even though you like kind of you
That's
experience.
exactly what I needed to hear today, dude. Like I've been like today's been kind of like a fucking weird day for me. Like everything's been kind of like I don't know. I've been kind of out of sorts like throughout this day, just because I've been like kind of I don't know, just that routine.
In your head or what?
Just kind of in my. I was in my head, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was getting caught up with the routine. I was just like, fuck this. And I called my friend Manny. Shout out to Manny. He's in Florida right now, and he's like one of my best like friends that like I don't know, we just have that connection,
Yeah.
And I called him, and I didn't really like before I called him, I got home, and my buddy Jeremy was getting out of the shower, and he was like what's up, dude? And I got home, I was like fucking crying and shit, like just being like just go. I don't know. I was just
Yeah, no, just break it down.
just breaking it down, having a weird like mental fit,
Which is something we all go through.
Yeah,
man.
something that
That's
everybody
real.
goes through.
At a certain point.
Yeah, and I was just like, and just because I'm thinking about getting a new job and like everything's just that uncertainty, like you're just talking about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at the most successful people in the world. One of the common facts that most people don't know about millionaires and above is that most of them had to file bankruptcy on average 3 to 5 times. Most of them. It's a high percentage of them. And
So that's not like
It's
more
failure.
how many failures can you
Yep.
go through.
it's
rather
how much, yeah, and we talked about that in the last podcast too, like, how much pain or how much sacrifice can you go through before you get to a point of nirvana, to where you know that like,
You're in the zone.
you just, and I think that's part of just getting older. Some people get older quicker. I mean, some people do. They just naturally their minds age quicker. We talk about old souls. That's really what it is to me.
Yeah.
They've just learned the mechanics of this life and what's going to go on, and
Everything-
accepted it quicker.
Everything
Yeah.
takes
You know?
trial and error.
Instead of
Like-
fighting it, they're just like,
Like also on people that fail, like stand-up comedians, like almost all major, like Seinfeld, like the biggest acts you can think of, like Carlin, whatever, like they all bombed at some point. They say this, like there's interviews,
freaking, Dave Chappelle, he was talking about it. His new special.
He talked about he bombed hard because he smoked
Yeah.
too much weed. The rappers, they apparently have higher weed than I'm used to. But even him, like one of the greatest. Like honestly, you can't deny that. But it's like everyone fails at some point. You know what I mean? And it's a matter of your acceptance of that and what you can learn from that. Like he turned it around and put it into his fucking act. That's what Chappelle did. And that's how great he is.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry guys.
Whoa, blonde twins. Hold on. I gotta get Brock in here. Blonde twins! What's up? Oh, Brock is in the building. Whoa.
Brock's in the building.
Brock is in the building.
No, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
We just wanted to make sure he was calling himself Brock.
Oh,
because,
we addressed it.
because hey, podcast.
Podcast world.
This motherfucker name is Brock. So if he tries to tell you different, you best believe.
Better recognize.
Glasses on.
Oh, I will.
Okay, sorry guys.
Totes.
you're good.
Totes.
But like
All
I
right.
was saying,
Glasses are off. She's gone. Okay.
I got home after work, and I was just feeling like just out of sorts, And then my buddy Jeremy, he was like, "What's up, dude?" I was like, "I don't know. I'm just gonna fucking smoke some weed and fucking chill, try and like gather my mind about it, just because I was just kind of sick of that routine." And then I called my buddy Manny, and he just kind of really explained to me like, because I didn't want to talk to anybody what I was like really thinking. I was really trying to be really shut off about it, which is never the right thing to do, I don't think. And then my buddy Manny was just like, dude, like, like what the fuck you're trying to like avoid or whatever, I don't know. We have like we are human fucking beings, We are fucking human beings, and like male human beings of all things, you know, just in general, like male human beings, females just have just as much potential, you know, but I feel like male human beings have that, like, just some sort of, like, drive because of that testosterone and just that fucking, like, that will to
like
fucking go,
leadership,
you know?
like,
And it's just like, I feel
The will to
like
provide.
we have so much potential, you know, and I don't know, we all know what the fuck we need to be doing. We all know the path we need to be going on. We all know, like, whatever you need to know is within yourself, and that's just, I don't know, my buddy Manny just really reminded me of that because I was getting off path, and that's why I feel like it's good to have a good community, you know, a good community of friends will always keep you on track, because if you get off track and you, like, need somebody to, like, reground yourself, you know, it's good to have that. Like, that's why I love this podcast. I love everybody who's surrounded me within this whole fucking universe, you know, because it's all just all of everything, you know. It's all just showing us little fucking hints towards everything, you know.
I love what you said there, man.
Yeah.
I love everything around me and all the people.
Wait, you gotta introduce yourself. Yeah, you got something to say. You gotta
By
say.
the way, CJ.
We got CJ
Nice one,
back.
Joe.
CJ was
CJ.
on some of the early casts
Yeah.
from the fucking, like,
It's been a minute.
Okay, I just wanted to
I
put
was
that
gonna
out there
say-
because he's gonna talk. So we know.
he just swooped
CJ.
right in, fucking came in hot like a savage motherfucker.
Is it like
boss.
is it the feel of what you want to be, or is it like the fever of what you want to be?
It's just that, it's just, you know, there's always those things like I want to be so much, but I need to take care of so much, you know, and there's those things that I need to take care of, and I need to do before I, I've sprouted my wings a little bit, and now I need to take care of some responsibilities.
So what about
Some,
fade?
some of the
wings
things I
more.
noticed
And
here,
then
About
though,
fade.
jump off the nest at some
Do you,
point.
do you feel faded at a certain point?
I feel like I'm just trying to go, you know. But
some things I've noticed too with this is that a lot of times I'll sabotage myself out of getting to the points that I want to reach in life by thinking I need to in the moment so much and not being happy enough with what I currently am.
Yeah. I
So
can
the
see
flip
that
here,
side of
the
it,
flip
too.
here is gratitude. You know, like is being in the moment, the present moment, because we can get in our minds, we can get all the way out in the future about what we want to be. This picture we have in our minds of what we want to be out here, and we can see in our past and see other things that maybe we didn't want to be, and you know we can always interpret those ways. But here in the moment is where everything's done. And honestly, the past and the future to me are all illusions of the mind. I spoke about this in the last podcast.
They are the present.
They're all one eternal
Everything
now.
is now.
Yeah, it's not a matter of time elapsing. It's the transformation of things that we witness with our senses that we interpret as time. So we see
need someone to bubble with.
transformations, right? And we want to see more transformations because we know they're possible, and that's what you want to see for yourself.
Exactly.
But you know, I find that I'm never going to get there if I'm always focused on what I'm not.
Exactly.
If I know what I am
Very
currently,
true.
the gratitude for everything I have, and that love you were talking about, I love everybody that's been on this podcast. I love everybody that's around me. I love the people that I'm surrounded with.
Love your
You take that
community.
love and you just go infinite with it, with everything in the moment, everything around you. Just
Exactly.
be.
But that's the
just-
thing, is it only gets you so far.
what?
It's difficult because it only gets you so far. That
What?
love, like
It gets you as far as you want it
could
to,
love-
though.
That's what I'm saying. Is like eventually, like at that point, like it hits you to where it's like, you know, I
all
have
subjective.
to go past that.
Well, yeah, and
You
but
let
you'll
it
get
elevate
there. You'll
you.
get there. It's inevitable. You're going to get somewhere.
Yeah.
Everything's in motion. These are laws
Well,
of
and
physics.
that's the thing.
Everything's in motion. Everything's
The things I
transforming. It's never
imagine-
going to stop. You'll
Yeah.
get there no matter what.
Oh yeah.
But I don't believe you'll get exactly where you want to go.
No.
Exactly.
Worrying
Well,
about the future.
it's
of it,
like
not being present
the
in the moment.
thing-
Because
if you
right
don't
now
work
I
it-
can make a
okay.
beat, but if I didn't make it right now and I'm thinking about how I haven't made enough beats,
Yeah.
I'll probably put myself down
Yeah.
for not have
Yeah,
done
there
it.
is that side.
Exactly.
of it.
So I have
It's a
to go-
detractor.
I have to do it right now. Like, okay, we're gonna make a beat, and it's like this. Van Gogh said this. He goes, "If a little voice inside your head says you are not a painter, boy, then by all means paint." And that voice will have been silenced.
Oh yeah, that's that's
that.
one thing.
Yep.
Just do it.
Dude,
And
one
my
thing-
That's
Nike's
the thing.
emblem.
I
Just
couldn't-
do it.
I couldn't make art. I couldn't make art for the life of me, and that was one thing that it almost bugged me. You know what I mean? Like just coming from the consciousness that I have and the way that I, you know, paint myself, like it bugged me that I couldn't paint it out. And
yeah, we lose sight of the beautiful painting that we already are.
yeah, exactly. And
We lose
like,
sight of that,
once-
and I think that it's a balance of both wanting to be more and being present enough to know that we already are incredible.
Exactly.
And when you know that you are incredible already, what are you gonna do but be incredible? You're gonna reach
Yeah.
it. I guarantee you're gonna get there.
But
that's the
how do
thing.
you
promise
know
you
it?
that.
Then How do you
We're all
know?
gonna get there.
How do
We're all gonna
you
get
That's
know
your mind.
you're
It's your
incredible
mind.
then?
But
You
here's
just
the
know
thing.
it.
People,
You
I'm just saying that there's millions and trillions or billions of people out there right now that don't think this way.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
but
okay,
how
so
to
do
me,
you get-
so to me,
how do
what
you
the
know
crazy
you're
thing
incredible
is
then?
is you
a good
think
question.
you're not incredible, but you're actually putting art out. I
So
feel like the
let's
people
look
that
at-
don't think that they're incredible are the people that are constantly putting art out. So they're constantly putting out these drawings or these paintings,
Like-
or these raps or these certain
Exactly.
things. But they don't think that they're confident enough to put it out. So they're
Like, okay,
kind of secretly putting it
this
out.
is my perfect example.
Yeah,
This
and
guy can rap.
once
This
you
guy can
actually
rap and
put
this
it
guy
out
can
and you
sing.
like make
This
it
guy
so
can
that
do everything that I think that he can do, but he doesn't think he could fucking sing as well as he can sing.
Well, so it comes
He's
down
the
to-
greatest rapper. That, dude, he's better than me.
It comes down to
got
whys,
me.
right? We ask the questions.
Like,
you
I
asked
just-
the question,
I just-
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
hold
all
on.
of
Yes,
us.
dude. Yes, like for sure. Because that's the thing. Is it all is it's
And
more
that's
than
the
what
thing.
you think. If you boasted yourself with what experience you have and like the ability that you have and like
It's just the focus I have is on different things, you know.
no,
And that's
no
the thing,
doubt.
Christian. That's the thing is like, is everyone has their focus on these weird things. And I'm not gonna say, okay, I say weird because you better embrace weird if you're listening, because weird is like
The best.
Weird.
the best. So that's
Weird
why I
is
say weird.
almost gonna be weird.
But that's the thing is like, once you embrace weird, the word weird, even like looking at it, weird.
You're saying that
Like,
weird.
Exactly. Even looking at it, so it's like weird is just weird. So once you embrace weird, I feel like you can then embrace the universe so much better because you finally understand that the universe is fucking weird, dude.
So
It
your
doesn't
life is
like
weird.
do everything.
The universe is weird. Yeah.
Okay, and so
You asked the question.
1.16, like the golden ratio, 3.25, like 1.16, whatever you want to count it, and depending on what way you're gonna break it down.
What ratio?
It's a
Close,
fucking
man.
funny
You got
ratio, and so you're looking at the other
I'm not
ratios,
familiar with
and you're
those.
looking at the
Poked
other
out.
people, and
talking about
okay,
pi?
so pi is 3.25.
All right.
Yeah.
And so
One at a time, guys, one at a time.
half
We're gonna have
of
to
that,
leave
which
this
is a
whole part.
quarter of a circle. So pi is half of a circle. And a circle can never be determined by any way because a circle is infinite. And so half of pi, which is a radical form of pi, is 3.24. And so most people they see 3.24 and they see it as a way to kind of teach them because they kind of see it as a way of, oh, the universe is creating things in 3.24 ways. And the reason for that is because you look at plants and you look at animals and you look at the way that they grow their hair and the way they grow their leaves, and you see that it's always in a 3-4 kind of flow. And so they go in the golden ratio kind of flow, which is 1 + 1 = 2, and 2 + 1 = 3, and 3 + 2 = 5, and 5 + 3 = 8. And so they go on like that, which is just the golden ratio, which is the ratio which I feel like God is kind of present at, because he's saying, hey, this is kind of how I presented the universe, and he doesn't have emotions like we do. He just creates. So he just creates and creates and creates the universes, and he creates different universes within 2 centimeters of each other, which is almost the same thing. But the thing is that God represents all of us, and he respects all of us in the way that he says, hey, I want you to build your own universe inside the universe that I've already built. And so he's like, where are you? Because if you start believing in this is true, because everything is true at any single point. That's what infinity is, which is what everything is. And that's why when you believe something, follow it, because if you don't follow it, then that means that it was true for a moment, but then it died out. And so that's why if you follow it, you are consistently saying, I believe in this thing. I believe in this energy. And that's why that energy gets harder and harder and faster. And that's why you get faster and faster and
This
more
is getting
people
very
believe
sexual. I just want to say it's getting harder and harder, faster and faster.
You had a question initially, Jerrick. What you asked is like, so how do we get to that point of knowing that we're incredible? And I think you have to ask more questions then about why you don't feel incredible. What is it in your mind, or what is it that you understand about yourself or perceive?
Okay, so it's,
what are
it's
these
more of a
illusions?
disproving belief.
If you could
Yeah.
prove yourself
Always
to be
the- it's
incredible,
always the
then you are
decrease, not the
incredible.
increase. Remember I told you
I
it's
like
about
that.
Remember I told you that the higher self
Remember,
teaches
yeah,
in sacrificing and remembering.
Right there.
Jerrick, are we recording? Just to make
Yeah,
sure.
let's take a quick break.
Just to
Let's
make
take a
sure
quick
we're
break.
recording.
I love you guys. So yeah, what I thought was so crazy today is today is Friday. So today is Friday. We have Saturday.
Friday.
And most people end their weeks on Sunday. Most people end their weeks on Sunday. You know, you start with Monday. You go through the week. You get Friday, Saturday, or Sunday and Saturday for kind of your weekend. You know.
Yeah.
So you don't really think about those 2 days. Those are kind of just like the let
Extra
me get
days.
free.
Free
you know?
days, yeah.
Yeah, and so Monday through Friday though, those 5 days you're kind of really thinking about yourself and kind of really thinking about, you know, like what am I going through? And so that's what I think is so beautiful about this universe is those 5 days a week when you have to work. I feel like, you know, some days you kind of feel like you don't want to work or like
Every day.
that it's so hard, you know, that it's like, oh my God. But then some days you go to work and you get to work and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to rock this day out, you know, like
Well,
this
you
is going to be
appreciate
the
what you're
greatest
doing.
day ever.
I'm
And so-
out of the house and I'm doing something.
And so that's why I like to
you
think
feel
of
like
karma.
you're
Yeah.
actually doing something
Yeah, and so,
productive
like-
to society.
And so what's crazy is like I work at home, you know, so I don't really go out, you know, like I work at home like
all day, every day.
every day,
Wow.
all day.
I get
work
one
at
day a
home.
week I get to work from home. So.
And see, that's what's crazy is like I get to work at home all day every day, and so like I see like all my homies and all my niggas and all this shit, but I see them outside of home because I work 40 hours a week minimum at home.
Gotcha.
And so when I see people, I honestly am kind of trying to put my energy out there that I really want to see, you know? And so it's like kind of like I could honestly, and this is what I do in the winter time, which I try not to do anymore because I've only almost been to my job for 3 years and I've worked at home for almost 3 years. But one thing I try not to do is during the winter, it's cold everywhere, you know? It's like I have hot ass, air conditioning. Air conditioning.
Sorry.
It's like I have hot ass air conditioning
Feeling
in
it.
my house, so it's like, you know, do you guys want to come kick it over here so we can like kick
No,
it
but that's
in my
how it
own
is,
house?
though,
And
yeah.
like, what do you want to do? And so then it's like, it gets me in all these weird mindsets, and like really it just comes
that's
to the
the
point
introvert
like,
in you, though.
yeah, and that's the introvert in me, like
For
kind of
sure.
telling myself.
Because
Like,
if you
oh,
told
I
me to
can-
come over and hang out, I'd
yeah,
come over and kick it,
and
dude.
that's the hard part for me is like actually
Exactly,
talking to
same
people,
here,
and like
yeah.
that's what I kind of wanted to bring up on this point is like you can really do so good without talking to anybody. You can do so good. You can like just exclude everybody out of your life and do so good because
Do
you're doing
you.
so good
I
for
mean,
yourself.
Exactly.
But here's the thing about like putting people in your life and putting things in your life that challenge you is you're doing the same thing that you would do without people in life. You're still hitting the same challenges because you're still setting up the same walls as you would have without people in your life. But the people that you include in your life, they even add extra challenges on that. So you think that you have a challenge, oh, I can't go 10 miles, and then you hit the little wall, and then you're like, oh, I can go 20 miles. But like when real people are around, you see them and
they
you're
hit
like,
that 20
oh,
miles.
I'm gonna go 15 miles, and they're like, they either say, all right, I'm with you, I'm about to go bike those 15 miles with you, or they say, good luck,
Exactly.
because it's good luck that you're about to go do that. And so it's like it kind of makes it to the point like where
Just
your
hoping everybody
friends,
sticks with you.
yeah, where your life, you live independent your whole life. Your whole life is independent. You just live yourself. The things you like, you surround yourself with. That's why people, when you like something, people are that like the same thing, you're gonna come around you. Like all that stuff, The reason for that is just because, like, you're gonna live your life solo, like, alone the whole time.
I'm a jack of all trades.
But the reason people are around you is just because, like, you're gonna live alone your whole life, and you're gonna die alone too. But it's very nice to have someone around during the time that you're alive, because then you think that you're right, and you think that everything you know is right.
Makes
But
it all
if you have
easier,
someone with you that's going through the same stuff, then you ask questions.
Yeah,
it's not like, hey, I'm right about everything. You say, what do you feel about this?
Well, you fight common ground.
You fight, and then you fight common ground, and then you guys
which is
find
why
common
I have
ground.
so many. Like I wanted to say is like I'm a jack of all trades with this particular subject. I hang out with such a variety of people. It's ridiculous. I mean, most recently I was hanging out with my cousin who's a professor, LDS, married, lives in New York. Okay, like has a doctorate degree. Like, you know, that's a walk of life, right? And then I'm hanging around a bunch of other people in my life that also like to drink and smoke weed and stuff.
No, nobody included here, of course. Because we're all allegedly sober. Shut up.
But my point is, my point is that there's a lot of things that you've got to be willing to accept about people if you're going to have a really truly open mind. Teachings come in all walks of life. Okay, they come in all walks and forms of life. Okay, bring it.
Oh, hold on. We're doing like a whole handshake here for those at home.
We're all shaking hands. We're collectively sober.
You're gonna feel that. I hope you can hear it.
Later on, we're gonna jerk off on the microphone.
That's a whole different body.
That's a little bit too much, Brian, but I love your energy.
I love you grabbing my titties, by the way.
All right,
I jiggled a little bit.
You don't?
Where are you saying?
So
You were at a point?
Sorry.
No, you're good.
dear God, man.
Got a long next point.
Bracken, you know you love it too, dog.
Love you guys all.
Again,
Love
back
the
to
double touch.
being able to accept everything that comes, including
Can
on
you
the
accept
microphone.
the titty wrap? Can you? Hey, Bracken, can you?
Can you accept all this
Can you
bullshit?
accept it, dog?
So no,
Bracken is fully getting molested here, by the way. People at home to know. He's struggling through
Bracken's
this.
good.
No, he's
Let's
good.
let
He's
him talk.
beautiful.
Let's let him talk. Let's go, Bracken.
Get a little bit too crazy.
How do you like everybody investing in you?
No, the point is
go.
that this
Just
is
go.
a prime example of what I'm talking about. And that's how the universe works.
Go.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be willing to accept everything that comes to you in the moment, no matter what it is.
That's beautiful.
You
That's
just
fucking-
witnessed exactly what I'm talking about. I can be talking about something super deep, and people will go off on freaking some
Bracken.
Jerking off on the microphone.
Exactly.
Leave these
But
motherfuckers.
You have to be willing
Bracken.
to
Hey,
accept
Bracken.
things if you're going to truly have an open mind.
Yes.
Because maybe
Bracken.
I'm not learning anything from coming on the microphone. I mean, I really
There's a lot to learn from that.
But I know one thing
be
I'm
allowed
learning
to
right
rub it.
now from coming on the microphone. It's called patience.
Yeah.
Like
You have to wait till you
Bracken,
get
That's
it.
something
cool
you
too.
can take from anything and everything.
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
That's something you can take from anything and everything. And another thing is, no matter how powerful an example I want to set to people, what I've learned is no form of example can make the choice for anybody.
Nope.
I can be as much of a powerful example, not even Jesus Christ himself or anybody of that spiritual
Which
nature
he
that walked the
was.
earth that had a powerful example ever
Different.
made the
It's the
choice
same
for
energy.
you. You will make that
He
choice.
tapped into it. He tapped into Jesus
You tapped
Christ.
into it,
Yeah.
dog. You tapped into it.
We're all Jesus in a way.
And we
We're
all are.
Everybody that
No,
ever
but I don't-
existed.
I know one thing for sure. We got dicks like Jesus.
Is that what
Hey, let me put this straight. Let me put this straight though. Let me put this straight though.
What?
It's like Jesus. Is
Hey,
that what you should call it?
let me put this straight though. Out of we have 6 of us right here right now. Okay.
He's standing up for
So
this.
I'm about to let this straight go. Okay.
I'll
So
get in
there's
shit.
6 of us.
Sloppy
Okay.
jalopy.
And okay, the biggest thing in life is reproduction because that's what every single piece of life has ever done since it's ever existed.
It's deep in our
That's
DNA.
why we have reproduction in our DNA. That's
Yeah.
why sometimes you feel like, why does it feel so weird when I'm with somebody? Why does this happen? Why does this happen? It's because that's what naturally happens with the DNA. So,
Yep.
yes, we have all these parts
Millions
that
of
connect
years.
us. And honestly, we should
ride
keep
more.
all these parts that connect us together, and we should
List.
continue to do some business upon it
Getting
so
to business.
that we can make ourselves known for what we actually feel. Because all of us actually feel these sounds, and all of us actually feel all this shit. And so
Spread your seed.
Exactly. All it comes
Spread
to
your
in the
seed.
end is spread your seed, and then
Spread
there's
your seed.
also another. There's also
Good message.
another layer on top of that, which none of you guys understand. Which the layer on top of it is.
Is this the bean
The
dip?
layer
or
on
the-
top of it is.
Bean dip?
Or
Alright,
the
it's
quesadilla.
been
Hold on.
done.
What layer is he at?
Exactly. It's the layer that says, "Oh my God,
Oh, we missed.
it's been going forever."
Okay. CJ.
Jay.
All the way.
But you guys
Should we
understand? That's
call
why
it
you
right
look
here?
at me.
We're
Fuck
getting
you guys.
pretty wild.
Hey,
Fuck you guys. 'Cause
Alright,
you looked at
okay.
me.
no, I understand you.
Okay.
That's why I high five you.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna
Because we understand.
Hold on. We're good.
Okay.
Because it really is what it's about.
Oh,
Whoa, there's a bottle there.
And a
Okay.
shot glass that you just broke.
Time
Oh,
to
but
chill.
Don't break your hand. Don't.
Yeah.
Hey, pause the shot.
And we're allegedly sober.
Yeah.
So,
Should we end
so
this?
the idea, the idea here is to reel it in, man.
Reel it
Okay.
in.
Otherwise,
Let,
don't
let,
reel it in.
let Bracken reel it in.
Hey, this isn't going to.
Hey, Alex.
Just hold up, nigga.
Is it
Alex,
still recording?
Hold up.
Yes, it is recording.
Okay, so,
Cut some shit out, bro.
Bracken.
so look, man. The idea here, from what I'm hearing, what Daniel's saying, is that unity.
Yeah. dude.
Everything is together and connected, and no matter what you do, no matter what walk of life, no matter what you're from, no matter what you represent, none of that. If you want to talk about true unity, it's about completely abandoning these judgments and these biases about what you expect from people and have no expectations and take them as they come. Come as you are is a great line in Nirvana.
Nirvana.
God, that's
Gotta reach
beautiful.
Nirvana. Shout out to Nirvana.
Hey,
So,
but like that's the thing. We really all love each other, and regardless of what we come
I
from,
love you guys.
we all love the experience we come from, and that's the thing that brings us all together.
It's true.
Is where we come from, what we do, and what we think from. And like at this point, it's all a podcast.
Yes.
It's all everybody come together. And like I can guarantee everybody here has done something that is hard in their life that they face and they prove forward rather than, moving
Then
back.
reject it and go to
Exactly.
a different path.
Exactly. And like that,
Yeah.
that's what's beautiful.
Keep on keeping
Is
on.
we know everybody in here
One step
keeps
at a time.
to the beautiful and keeps to what's meant to happen.
Well, and so one thing that I want to add is just that, like, the people that we're with right now and the people that listen to us and everything, it's just like, yes, we may be at a point where we are expressing our emotions at this level, and that's why these chords on the guitar
Definitely
sound
somewhere.
good for you, because we're expressing it that level. But I just want to let everyone know that we're constantly progressing, constantly adding people, constantly adding things to add to the constant relevance of everything in the earth, and you're gonna like to something at one other point, whether it's the point where it started or whether it's the point where it ended or whether it's the point where you were at the middle peak where you gained the most audacity. That depends on the note and the key that you were in. And for us, I feel like everyone, not even
what you
us,
face,
I feel
dude.
like everything and everyone always has to face those constant changes and those constant hardships, because
well, we don't even have
if-
to face them. We get to. It's a
we
matter
get
of have
to,
or is
we
it
get to, we get to, and
What
that's
I'd
the other
what I'd
beautiful
like
thing
to
is.
say, and what we should just like call it good on. It's all love.